What's up, everyone? All right, well, here we are. It's Tuesday, and thank goodness I avoided a second red day in a row. But today, it's nothing that exciting. It's a small green day. Here's the problem. When I sat down this morning, well, first of all, I put on my t-shirt, slow down. Pump the brakes. You don't need to have another big red day. See, that's where things start to get a little out of hand. One big red day, all right, get back on the horse. But when you have 2, 3, 4 big red days in a row, things start to really get bad emotionally. I mean, financially too, but emotionally, you just get so defeated and frustrated, it could be a real downward spiral. So what's important for me right now is just to kind of start to rebuild a little bit of confidence. So when I came in this morning, the problem was we didn't have anything that looked that good. So gap scans this morning, we had a couple stocks that had moved. SLRX, this was an early mover, as you can see, popped up, but was basically just stair-stepping down by the time I was looking at the charts at 7 a.m. We had SGD, was it S? Yeah, SGD, same thing, popped up, was stair-stepping down, just kind of had one move up, and then that was it. You had V-Wave from yesterday. Some people were looking at that for continuation, but I was like, I don't know, guys. Big move yesterday. What are we doing now? We're stair-stepping down. We're on the back side of the move. It peaked here, or, a little before that. And so that was kind of rolling over. You had some lower price momentum on SOAR, but very choppy. Let's look at this on the 1-minute chart. I didn't trade it, but gosh, pop, rejection, back up, pop, rejection. Once a stock does this once, you can really not trust it again, and it did it a second time there. So first stock that I traded was AGRI. This is a stock that was on the low float top gainer scanner. It's a reverse split. Started to pop up, as you could see right here. It had, I guess a bit of volume yesterday. And in any case, this morning, it starts to pop up. Right here, it goes from 550 up to 850, dips back down, comes back up to 8, dips back down, and makes a second attempt. So the way I trade this is I jumped in at the $0.50 as soon as it popped up and I saw it. So jumped in and then was adding as it was pulling away. Locked up about $20,000 on that first candle. Dips down, add back, made another $2,000, got myself to $24,000 on the day. Dips down here, added back right there for the squeeze through 9, and I lost half of my profit, which is why you'll see I'm up 11,000 on it instead of 24,000. Well, I thought it looked good for a squeeze through the high a day. At the time, it was the most obvious stock. However, it was lacking a catalyst and it was not able to go. So gave back half my profit on that. This was at about 7:30, and then I didn't take another trade, just sat tight. There were a couple other stocks that popped up. ZOOZ, didn't really feel good about it. It's a blue sky setup, which I like, break of all-time highs, but it just popped up and immediately sold off. There were a lot of sellers. SCNI, this is another one that, popped and was selling off, stair-stepping down. VCIG, I mean, there was just a lot of stocks that just didn't feel right. CLDI, this one, a little cheaper. BMNR put out some news about a $1 billion stock buyback. And I was like, how is that even possible? It's got a 1.5 million share float. So I don't even know how you figure that. But in any case, I just didn't feel good about it. So then finally, the last stock that I traded was NTHI. And this is now red on the day. It's down 5%. This one popped up with news, as you can see right here. So it starts squeezing up. Initially, it squeezes up to 9. I don't trade it. It dips down. It comes back up here, and I got in. It pops up to 850 and immediately rejects, and I lost $3,700 on it. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm done. Now, maybe I should have already called it quits after I gave back half my profit on the day on AGRI, but though I liked this curling setup. So I think the issue today was sort of similar to yesterday, dispersed attention, not having one really obvious stock, and getting a lot of kind of pops and drops. A stock has a momentary, burst of attention and momentum, and then it just fades. And so right now, well, it's kind of a waiting game. And so whenever I have a big loss like I had yesterday, the way I think about it is my first order of business is to stop the bleeding. That's the first thing. So think about a boat that's sinking. You're taking on water. First thing you do, you don't just sit around and what should I do? You can start bailing out water, but the best thing to do is to stop the bleeding, right? Stop the leak. So patch that hole. So for me, when I stopped trading yesterday, that was like stopping the bleeding, patching the hole. Okay, so now I'm sitting here and I'm in a drawdown. The boat's like half full of water. All right, so what do I do? How do I kind of regain some confidence? Now, we could go further with this analogy, I suppose, if we really wanted to. But right now, there's a sense of sort of instability and kind of being a little bit on the defense and a little loss of confidence. A couple big losses, in the market will do that. It gives you a little, a hit to the confidence. And so what I typically will do is I reduce my share size and just try to kind of stabilize. So in the boat analogy, it's kind of just bailing out a little bit of water, just getting a little bit of water out of the boat, trying to feel like, okay, I'm back in control. And so a couple of small green days can really make a huge difference. Now, in the case with trading, once I have a couple small green days and, I've recouped typically about half the loss, then I start to feel like I'm kind of back in a position of confidence. And that's when I start to, get a little bit more aggressive. So, unfortunately today, although I made 24,000 on that first, couple of trades, I ended up giving back too much of it. And so now I'm sitting here up 7,400 on the day, which, hey, I'm grateful for that. It's certainly better than being red, but I still have quite a ways to go to recoup about half of the loss and to regain a bit more confidence. And so now what I actually have a risk of is that I come in tomorrow and, I'm like, maybe have a false sense of confidence. Oh, I had a green day today. The drawdown, the losing streak is over. I come in tomorrow and take a $30,000 loss on the first trade. And then what happens? All of a sudden I go from, okay, I was now down 58,000 on day one, up 7,000 on day two. So I'm still down 51,000. Day three, I lose 30 grand. Now I'm down 81,000. And so what am I doing? I'm stair-stepping down. The boat is taking on more water because I'm being too risky. So, to me, I don't have to recoup all of the loss before I start getting aggressive again, but I have to sort of be at the halfway point. And so that's what I'm kind of working towards now. And it would have been nice if I could have done a little bit better on that today. But look, I'm trading the market that I'm in. And the market that I'm in today, we had dispersed attention, volume sort of across the board, split across a number of different stocks. You've got like 10 or 15 stocks here that all have over 1 million shares of volume that are up quite a bit. So dispersed attention, not very clean catalysts. And, yesterday was choppier. And we had an offering. AIM was a stock that made a big move yesterday. Today it does an offering, right? So ends up selling off all day long. And, this is going to be something that a short seller loves. Having something that goes from $36 to $3 in a day is a big win. And it's going to make them think I should just short anything that's popping. BMNR, I'll short that too. And that'll work, until you get the one that, I suppose sort of like vape. Did I lose my data for a second? Doesn't matter. So it looks like I'm totally offline. My level 2 is offline too. Yeah, that's weird. All right, well, I don't know. We'll have to figure out what's going on with my internet, but I can still keep recording this. So nonetheless, it's back up. So vape yesterday, one of these stocks that maybe shorts were, slamming and to the short side, that first pop, oh, this thing can't possibly. And then the next thing you know, it goes to $180 a share and you're down $1 million. So, that's the thing that we always tend to see with, these, when you have high rates of short selling, are the inevitable short squeezes. So, and one short squeeze like that, all of a sudden the momentum shifts and now traders that are trade to the long side are sort of back in the driver's seat, being more aggressive, and the shorts are the ones that are being a little bit nervous. So that's the ebb and the flow of the market. And it's all kind of driven by the underlying catalysts and the strength that we see. And, when we finally get a stock that truly has some incredible news. But what we've been going through have been, this cycle where a lot of stocks are popping up on, these crypto treasury, headlines. We've been seeing some of these headlines. They've obviously gotten leaked before the headline goes actually public, because we've been seeing, a number of instances where stocks go up 300-400% before the headline actually gets posted. So little tricky right now, but, like I said, this is just part of the up and down of being in the market. And so right now I'm on a little bit of a drawdown, and I've got to chip away at regaining those losses and getting myself back into a position of confidence. And, most likely by the time I'm picking up confidence, hopefully we'll also be seeing, most likely it's going to go in tandem, that I'll start picking up confidence when the market starts giving more gains, right? And then that's the perfect time to, of course, put the pedal to the metal and be more aggressive, because now we're seeing more action. So it's going to go in tandem. And the most important thing is that while it's cold, I keep risk in check so I don't put myself into a really deep drawdown. All right, so with that, I'll remind you guys, as always, easy come, easy go. This is trading. It is risky, and you're getting to see exactly what it's like here, the good and the bad. So right now, kind of going through a little bit of a struggle, but, I'll be back at the, my high a day, high a month, high a year before too long. So stay tuned for the next recap. We'll be coming tomorrow. And again, take it slow and trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line.